Hello friends, welcome back to Cook and Bake with V. Shetty. In this video I have for you all a delicious Bengaluru special dessert made from ash card. In Kannada it is called as Budukumbalkai. It's popularly known as Dumrote or Dumrot halwa or ash guard halwa. Dum means the process of cooking. So the halwa is cooked traditionally on dum, that is low heat in a closed vessel, and rot means the crust that is formed in the halwa. Let's get started. For the Dumrot you need firm fully mature ash card. So make sure to pick the mature one which is less greener, which has a less green skin and more of ash colored skin. So it's better to use a firm mature one instead of tender for the Dumrot. I have peeled the skin out, and then after removing the seeds I have cut the ash guard into long pieces which will help in grating the ash guard. Okay, after cutting into long pieces, clean it thoroughly, especially wash it with a clean filtered water. And I have also measured after cutting into long pieces, so it was around 2 kilograms. And next you need to grate, so you can either use a grater or a food processor which has grating attachment. After grating, I measured the ash card, the grated ash card in cups. So if you need the measurement in cups, so 2 kilograms led to around 7 cups of grated ash card. Next I will be cooking this grated ash card. Boil some water in a vessel. Add a teaspoon of salt to it. Add in the grated ash card and cook it not very long, for around 5 to 7 minutes until a boil comes. You are not supposed to cook the ash card for longer duration because it might get dissolved. Cook the ash card on high to medium heat for 5 to 7 minutes. Once the boil comes, immediately turn off the heat and keep the vessel aside. Next you need to strain the cooked ash card. For that I am using a strainer here which is lined by a cheesecloth. So better to use a thin cheesecloth. So line it on the strainer and use a big vessel so that the water gets collected into that bowl or the vessel. Adding some cold water in order to stop the process of further cooking. As I mentioned, better to use a big bowl or a vessel so that the water gets collected and doesn't spill out. This is the water or liquid that we get after straining the grated and cooked ash card. So this liquid is very healthy, so no need to discard. You can use it as a vegetable stock in soups or in any cooking dishes, like you can use for kneading the chapati or roti dough, or you can drink it as it is, which is very healthy for the body. With the help of the cheesecloth, squeeze out the water completely from the cooked ash guard. Either you can use your hand to squeeze out the water, or even you can tie the cheesecloth and hang it for a while so that slowly the water drains out from the ash guard. As I mentioned earlier, Dumrote, So rot means forming a crust. So in order to form a crust, you need to cook the ash guard on low temperature for longer duration. So I'll be baking the ash guard in an oven. For that, here I am using a cast iron skillet, and I'll be baking the ash guard in the cast iron skillet. If you don't have this cast iron skillet, you can even use a cake tin or a cake dish or any glass container as well. But using a cast iron skillet will be more healthy, and it gives a nice taste or flavor to the Dumrote. Next, I am adding unsweetened Khova or Khoya, or even known as Mawa. So I have taken around 200 to 250 grams. So I am going to mix this Khoya or Khova with the ash guard, cooked ash guard. This is saffron, which I have soaked in a few teaspoons of milk, warm milk. It is totally optional. Instead you can also use a food coloring. I don't like using food colorings. Instead of food coloring, I am using saffron. So make sure to soak the saffron in few teaspoons of warm milk for around half an hour. Next, this is roasted chiroti rava or semolina, which is a small sized semolina. Not the same semolina or rava which is used for uppittu. This is small sized one. So I have taken around 5 tablespoons of it, and I have roasted for few minutes until you get a aroma, roasted aroma. So then I am adding it with the ash guard. Quarter to half teaspoon of cardamom powder. Next is sugar. So here I am using castor sugar. You can use the other sugar as well. I am adding around 1.5 cups of sugar. If you need more sweet, you can add around 1/3/4 cup. I usually like medium, so I am adding only 1.5 cups of sugar. Mix all these ingredients really well. Next, I am adding melted ghee, which is also known as clarified butter. So I am adding around 6 to 7 tablespoons of ghee. Some cashews and raisins. If you wish to use other nuts, you can do so. With the help of a spatula, combine all these ingredients. Meanwhile, preheat the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for around 10 to 15 minutes. Place the skillet in a preheated oven. Before placing it, reduce the temperature to 150 degrees Celsius. As I mentioned earlier, you need to cook or bake this on low temperature for longer duration. So bake it at 150 degrees Celsius for around 2 hours. But make sure to keep an eye while it is baking, because every oven is different. In the preheated oven, I have placed the skillet in the middle rack. Temperature I have reduced to 150 degrees Celsius. It's in the baking mode where the top and the bottom is heated. First, I'll be baking or cooking it for 60 minutes, but in between I'll be checking. I'll be removing the skillet. After around 45 minutes, I have removed the skillet. Be careful while removing it. Make sure to use a gloves. Stir it so that the crust is formed evenly both at the top and the bottom. After stirring, place back the skillet. After first 1 hour, Again, increase the time to another 60 minutes, but make sure to check in between, and in between remove the skillet and stir it so that the crust is formed evenly. When there is last 30 minutes left, you can increase the temperature from 150 to 180 degrees Celsius, but make sure to keep an eye. When it is last 5 or 10 minutes left, you can even change the mode, that is from baking mode you can change it to grill mode, where the top is only heated. So if your oven has the grill mode, you can change it, otherwise you can keep as it is. So once the crust is formed, you can remove it. So make sure to keep an eye so that it doesn't burn, because every oven is different. So the Dumrot is done. You can see a very nice crust on the top and the bottom. It took around 120 minutes or 2 hours for me. So it might vary less or more depending upon the oven that you use. Have it or serve it hot or warm. You can store it in the refrigerator and it stays as long as for 1 week or so. You can also have it with ice cream, especially it goes really well with vanilla ice cream. Do try this recipe and let me know your feedback in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and if you like my recipes, do share it with your family and friends. Thank you for watching.